High school football returns tonight. Sports director Mike Catalana live at Gates-Chili to preview one of the best games tonight, and the weather might be something to think about too.
You think? Maybe a little bit. A little bit
the
now.
umbrella gave it away. Was it coming down in
I
buckets?
will tell you this. No, it's just coming down with the rain, but it must have gotten 15 degrees cooler in the last few minutes. I know
As
Glenn's
promised.
been talking about that. What's sweeping in here now, but you know what? It can't stop these guys. These young guys have been working hard all August during those hot days to get ready to have a little fun. So tonight, high school football begins, and they get a chance. And that includes the game here tonight at Gates-Chili. The Spartans taking on Hilton. Now, Hilton will be out here this evening looking for a bit of revenge. Last year, they had an undefeated record until Gates-Chili knocked them off in the playoffs to end their season. So the teams get at it tonight, playing in front of a big crowd under the Friday night lights.
Friday nights are the best, especially out of Gates-Chili. They got a great facility and they're a great team, and so we've been looking forward to this all preseason, and we're looking forward to Friday night. Well, they're probably as good a team as there is in the area, so we've had a great rivalry with them, some great games, so no better place to play or to start off than at Gates-Chili.
Yeah, that's one of the many games going on tonight. We're going to be all over getting highlights for you tonight, including a game at Aquinas this evening. We'll be down at Cal-Mum. Those highlights coming up tonight on 13 Wham News at 11 o'clock. So, again, my advice, not a meteorologist, but standing in the rain. If you're going out to games tonight, bring a jacket, maybe an umbrella. Try to stay warm, try to stay dry, and we'll bring you the highlights tonight at 11 o'clock.
It's almost like cueing the central casting for a football game. I mean, you know, you're a little cold, a little rain.
Right.
You wouldn't want it to be
It's
90
perfect, right?
Right, exactly.
We know the players will enjoy it. The fans, maybe not so much.
And the sportscasters. Thank you, Mike.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, once we saw the players take the field, had to put the umbrella down. They're out in the elements. We are too tonight. Section 5 football begins this evening. We're live at Gates-Chili High School. They take on Hilton tonight. These are two of the area's best programs meeting this evening. For Hilton, the regular season has been spectacular. A couple of undefeated seasons, but Rich Lapani's team had some serious losses to graduation. Quarterback Jules Smith is gone on to play at Marist. So the team hands the ball off to sophomore DJ Ligori.
I expect another undefeated season. I mean, we've had 2 in a row, and we're just going to try to continue the tradition. I feel good. I certainly got some big shoes to fill with dual, and I'm just going to do the best that I can. I feel a little pressure, but still, you just got to avoid that, and you just got to do the best that you can.
Well, they are taking on a Gates-Chili team that knocked them out of the playoffs in the upset last night. So here in the rain this evening, these teams will meet. Of course, we'll have highlights of this game tonight at 11 o'clock. We'll have more highlights this evening, too, from Spencerport, from Aquinas, from Cal-Mum, all coming your way tonight at 11 o'clock.
Hey, you know what we've got to talk tonight about? High school football.
We do,
Alive
absolutely.
and well, Mike Catalana was on the sidelines tonight.
It was raining a lot today.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
You deserve to be mocked a bit about the umbrella.
Really?
Yeah, you did.
Really? You know, I tried to not have the umbrella.
I know, I saw that.
When the players came out, and then I snuck the umbrella back up again. But it was fine. It was fun to be out there. All those hot days in August, all that work under the sun. Then tonight, as the season began, it's cool and rainy. Maybe Mother Nature couldn't wait for football season to begin. One of the games we headed out to tonight, the Rangers of Spencerport taking on Irondequoit, down 14-10. Irondequoit's Javante Mack with the TD run. They led it 17-14. Then the Eagles, Brielle Caples to Joel Miller for the 33-yard touchdown. They went on to win tonight. The final in that one, 37-14. Irondequoit. Coming up later, we have highlights from a couple of other games this evening and scores as the high school football season is underway.
Can't believe already.
Where did the summer go? All of a sudden.
Gone. It's gone. It's football time. I know you guys are excited.
Well, I missed football. I forget over the summer how much I missed football. And then I started seeing the preseason games, and I was all excited.
There we go.
Does that make your day?
All right, thank you, Michael. Check back with you in a few.
13 Wham News, brought to you by Arby's.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, it's opening night in Section 5 football. We're going to start in Livingston County tonight. A matchup between Caledonia-Mumford at home against York tonight. Cool and rainy at Cal-Mum. Mike Monticelli's team can always run the football. Tonight, junior Matt Capitelli takes it and rumbles 40 yards. They track him down, but they would go in for the score. Later, Capitelli gets another touchdown. This one from 6 yards out, straight on in. But the big play in the night, Matt Hartford, the quarterback, going to look deep for Tyler Lawfer. He had 3 touchdowns on the night. Watch him scamper here and go to the end zone. All Caledonia-Mumford tonight. They get the victory, the final 34-6. We did our sportscast at 6 o'clock live from Gates Chili. The Spartans taking on Hilton tonight. Hilton with the offensive trouble. Vince Malta fumbles the snap, and it's picked up by Gates Chili. And Nick Kaminsky's going to make them pay. The touchdown run here to put them up 6-0. Yeah, he's going to get in the end zone and celebrate with his teammates. Last 2 seasons undefeated in the regular season for Hilton, but this year they start with a loss. Gates Chili beats them this evening tonight at Gates. Also, Irondequoit and Spencerport tonight. We'll pick it up in the 3rd quarter. Irondequoit in front. Brielle Caples of the Eagles to Joel Miller for the score. He'd take it in, 24-14 Eagles. Caples can do more than throw. Watch him take down Dwayne Jennings with the hit coming up there. Then in the 4th quarter, Javante Mack with the TD run to make it 30-14 Irondequoit. They would win tonight by a final score of 37-14. On the scoreboard tonight, it's Aquinas big over St. Joseph Buffalo tonight. And in double overtime, East Rochester knocks off Newark this evening, the final 40-33.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
This was a day tailor-made for football. Sunny, cool, and, well, full of great matchups in Section 5. At the top of today's list, Webster Schroeder making the trip to Henrietta, one of the area's top prep prospects. Ashton Broyles ready to begin his senior year. The Winds played havoc with his passes early on, but, well, he started to figure things out. 2nd quarter, Broyd right over the middle, and he's got Bay Barley right in stride. Barley is, well, he's gone. See for yourself. 70 yards. He outruns everybody in for the score. RH missed the extra point, so it was 6-0. Later in the 2nd, Broyles showing why he's being recruited by teams like Maryland, Florida State, Syracuse, Louisville. Can make plays like this. Pass breaks down. He picks up big yards and makes a play. Later in the drive, Broyles right to Justin Medley in the end zone corner for the touchdown. Rush wins this game on a touchdown with 17 seconds left. 32-26 the final. McQuaid ready for another season. They were sectional finalists last year. Today, off to a great start. It's already 14-0, and Freddie Washburn right up the middle for the touchdown. Knights were out in front, 21-0. 2nd quarter, Connor Emmerich rolling out and throwing to the sideline. Nick Augustini makes the catch. Yeah, heck of a job to get his feet down. That kept the drive alive. Same drive, Emmerich's going to hand it off to Danny Howard. And he bangs his way across the goal line in for the touchdown. McQuaid 1-0 after a 35-0 win. Let's keep it moving. Honeoye, Falls-Lima, Greece, Arcadia today. HFL up, and they kept it on. Goal line, Dylan Sweatman sneaks it in. Take my word for it, he got it. HFL up 21-12 at that point. The defense was really, really good. Cody Page tries to get around the outside. Nope, HFL wins today at Greece Arcadia, 21-18. How about Eastridge? They got the new field this year, but they opened the season on the road at Greece Olympia. Trouble hanging on to the ball today. Carl Williams falls on the fumble there for Olympia. That sets the offense up quite nicely. 2nd quarter, ensuing drive, Billy Slocum for the touchdown. He finds Williams there. That was 7-0. Olympia, more problems. Hanging onto the ball for the Lancers. Pops out again, and Olympia picks it up again. It would set them up perfectly. Slocum rolling out. Sean Charles, who's going to stretch for the touchdown. Olympia wins at 24-0. Hey, they start the season on a very high note today. How about Webster Thomas at Penfield today? Start in the 4th. Penfield's Kyle Coveley hit by Thomas's Sergio Ruffolo, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Luke Geloso makes the catch. Thomas up 27-zip. Penfield, the late run, but a highlight reel throw that's worth showing. Coveley to David Roque. Yeah, what a grab. It wasn't enough, though. Webster Thomas wins it today, 28-7. Scoreboard, Victor over Canandaigua, 28-7. East, no problem with Franklin this afternoon. They win it by 46 points. Bishop Kearney at Bath. Bath takes care of business in that one, 46-12. And Marshall all over Edison today, 40-0.
A lot of high school football action tonight. Sports Director Mike Catalana over at Aquinas to preview one of the big games. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Edward, this should be a lot of fun tonight. You know, there is no team in Section 5 that inspires more debate than the Aquinas Little Irish. They have a lot of fans, certainly a lot of alums. Many will be here tonight, but they also have a lot of detractors. A lot of people say just too good, too many advantages at a private school. It all leads to a school that has a football schedule that is very short on teams from within Section 5. They play a lot of teams from outside the area. In fact, tonight they're playing a team from Mansfield, Massachusetts. With more on Aquinas, here's 13 Wham's Chuck Wade.
At Aquinas, they'll play just one Section 5 opponent this season, partially due to their status as an independent team and Monroe County scheduling, and also the competition.
We can't win games 40-0. It doesn't help us. So, you know, to improve, we got to play people that are better, and some of them will beat us. I mean, we have every team on our regular schedule has a chance to beat us.
They'll go as far as Boston this year with little chance to scout any of their opponents, including Mansfield, who they've got tonight at home, and that's okay.
To tell you the truth, you really don't know anything. I mean, I think that's going to make it fun because they don't really know much about us. We don't know much about them. I mean, the distance between the teams are so much that, I mean, it's not like we could just go out there and scout for a day or whatever, and same thing with them. So, I mean, I think it's going to be fun.
Winning's become an expectation here at Aquinas. The Little Irish have won 4 straight sectional titles. If they make it 5, they'll join Webster, Schroeder, Calmum, and Clyde as the only schools in Section 5 history to win 5 straight sectional titles.
We all know that we've had 4 in a row, and we don't want to be the team not to get it. You know, we want to go for the 5th.
I think this year will be our toughest year because I think this might be the best team Victor has, and I think Honeoye Falls is really good, as we see from this week, and I think Athena is always good. So, you know, I'd like to win it, but we got to go 1 week at a time.
At Aquinas, Chuck Wade, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, and we'll certainly have highlights of the game here tonight. And you heard Coach mention HFL and Victor. They are both playing this evening. Highlights of that one, Spencerport and Hilton, Franklin and McQuaid. All those highlights coming your way tonight at 11 o'clock. And coming up at 6, more on Aquinas. We'll hear from their quarterback. Also news from today, the Bills have lost linebacker Kavika Mitchell for the year. We'll talk more about that and tell you who replaced him. That is all coming up at 6. For now, reporting live from Aquinas, Mike Catalana, 13 Wham Sports.
Better weather out there for you, Mike, for sure this Friday.
Yeah. Last week, the umbrella. This week, I should have had the sunglasses out. It's nice if you're going out to football tonight. Really nice tonight.
Yeah, who can forget the umbrella? All right. Thank you, Mike.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, sports is coming to you live from Aquinas tonight, where the powerhouse Little Irish once again play a team from outside of Section 5. They take on Mansfield High School, the team practicing behind us. They are out of Massachusetts tonight. Now, they will take on an Aquinas team that is getting used to a new quarterback this year. Junior Corey Benedetto gets his shot. This is a school, Aquinas, that has put together 4 consecutive seasons of Section 5 championships. The quarterback certainly knows he needs help, and he thinks he has it.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of good players. We got some starting players returning. We got Chris Bostic, Mike Messina. So we got a lot of people that are already there, and they're pushing us to go harder, do harder, and do the best we can. So we've got a lot of good role models on our team.
Among the games you're going to see in highlights tonight at 11 o'clock, this game, Mansfield, it's the team that traveled from Massachusetts. They're spending 2 nights here. They're going to play a JV game against the Aquinas JV tomorrow, so a big trip for them. We'll see how they do. HFL, Victor should be a good one. Spencerport and Hilton, and the debut of the new field at McQuaid. That's all coming your way tonight at 11 o'clock.
Sports.
Yeah, good weather for football tonight.
It is football weather.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to, you know, we were live at Aquinas this afternoon. They were playing a team from Mansfield, Massachusetts, making the trip to town to play AQ. Now, Aquinas not really sure how good of a team they were facing since Mansfield hadn't played a game yet this year. So we'll go out to Aquinas tonight for this one. Check out the run of the night from Aquinas is Mike Messina. Look at the moves here. He's going to play lacrosse at Syracuse next year. Watch him cut back. Now watch what happens when he gets hit. It looks like he's going to go to the ground. Watch the flip coming up here, and he just keeps right on running. Go into the end zone, but hold on a second. They blew it dead. Watch it on the replay. Yeah, he dove in the end zone. I don't know if his knee actually touched the ground. Maybe, maybe not. Don't worry, they scored a couple plays later. And Aquinas rolled to the victory tonight. The final on that one, 32-5. Quite an athlete. Coming up later, we've got plenty of highlights. We've got McQuaid. We've got the game at Hilton. We've got the Victor HFL all coming your way in sports.
All right, that was a good highlight, Mike.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Say goodbye.
This is
To
it.
the desk.
Final night.
The desk is going.
It's sad.
We're going to go back in the studio next week, and this is the last time you're going to see us in standard def. Here's a little peek. Starting Monday, there's a look at the new Weather Center in the HD studios. 13 WHAM is going to broadcast all of its newscasts in high def. We're going to be using iPads instead of scripts. It's going to be a whole new experience. That was just a little peek.
And here's the key, though, for people. If they want to watch us in HD on Monday, you don't watch us on 13.
Yeah,
right?
now if you're on Time Warner, it would be 10:13. So you got to go to the HD. So even though we'll be broadcasting in HD, you make sure you're watching us on the HD channel on Monday. So 10:13, satellite dish people.
I think it's right on 13.
I think
right on
it's
13.
Right on 13.
So 13.0. All right.
Let us know what you think on Monday.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
All right, Friday Night Football keeping us busy tonight. It starts out in Victor. This is a good one. Blue Devils at home against HFL. Victor ready to meet up with a bunch of fired-up HFL Cougars. First quarter Victor's Richie Shute finds Josh Maves, who's going to fight his way into the end zone. Touchdown, 7-0 Victor. And then the ensuing kickoff going to HFL's James Smith, and watch him go. 98 yards for the touchdown. No, they're not going to catch him. Game tied at 7, but Victor is tough. They come right back. Sean Hackle's going to take the ball coming up here from his own 48 and gone. 52 yards for the score. Victor is strong. They get the victory tonight. The final 49-13. Also, Spencerport at Hilton tonight. Quarterback DJ Logery here on the slant to Dave Smith. Nice pitch and catch and touchdown. 35-0 Cadets. Spencerport would get on the board late. Phil, no, with the short touchdown run, they get a score. Nowhere near enough. The final in that one, 35-7. Franklin and McQuaid tonight. Knights playing on their new home turf, already up 7-0. It's Danny Howard. Punt return. Nobody from Franklin's going to stop him. Scampering to the end zone. Touchdown, Howard. 7-0 McQuaid. 21-0 McQuaid in front, and they weren't finished either. Tommy Leone's going to pick up the fumble coming up there, and he's gone. Everybody rumbling to the end zone tonight. This one a blowout, too. McQuaid wins it big, 56-0. And Mansfield, Massachusetts High School in town to play Aquinas. AQ looking to beat him in the air. Corey Benedetto, we heard from him at 6 tonight, going deep and finding Mike Messina. That would set up a field goal. Messina not wanting to go down easy. Later, Messina had a big run, and that set up Benedetto on a 4th and 1. He takes it in for the score. Aquinas wins again tonight, the final 32-5. Now, how about this score from tonight? In the victory for Avon, Rich Welch, 263 yards rushing, 2 TDs, 88-yard kickoff return, 10 tackles. He sold popcorn and cleaned the locker room, too. Avon wins big tonight. And Wayne's 2-0 for the first time ever. They beat Geneva.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Week 2 of the Section 5 football slate. You couldn't have asked for a better day. Some of Monroe County's biggest schools met up today across our area. We'll start with Rush-Henrietta. The Royal Comets at home for the 2nd straight week. In great shape today, taking on Penfield. We'll start in the first, already 19-0. Ashton Broyle to Devin Mayo. He's in for the long touchdown. That made it 26-0 Rush-Henrietta. After 4 and out on defense, they get it back. Look at Christian Harris. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, almost 5 tackles on the return. Sets himself up nicely. Just 1 play after that, he's gone on the long sweep and the touchdown. RH goes up 33-0 in the first quarter. The final 59-8. How about Webster Schroeder? They were at Pittsford this afternoon. The Panthers underdogs coming into this game, but Dominic DeLucia in from a yard out for the touchdown. That made it 10-0 Panthers. Later on, Parrish McKnight, Webster's quarterback, gets hit and loses the ball up into the air. There it is, and it came down into the wrong guy's hands. Nick Barkley, he's going all the way the rest of the way. That made it 13-0 Pittsford. Big win today, 24-7 for the Panthers. Webster Thomas, the other Webster team today, hosting Fairport. Second quarter, Zach Smith gets the handoff, and he's going to maintain his balance and in for the touchdown. Made it 6-0 Titans. They weren't done. We go to the third quarter. Jake Bolin drops back to pass, and Hits Matt Dibble right in stride. Nobody's going to catch him. He's going 61 yards for the touchdown. Webster up 13-0 and on to the 19-7 victory. On the scoreboard today, East, big win over Marshall 47-6. Dundee 33-14 over Marcus Whitman. In overtime, 43-42 the final. Canandaigua over Greece Olympia. And Elba and Byron Burgeon combined to beat Alexander 35-0 today.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
They kept the lights on late tonight into the weekend. A lot of big high school matchups, including one at Irondequoit, where the hosts had Churchville. Both teams looking to stay unbeaten. This was a great one at the end. Let's get to it. Third quarter, 4th down, 6 to go for Irondequoit. We'll pick it up with Brielle Caples, and he's making something happen to Joel Miller. Put IQ up 21-20. We'll go to the 4th now. They're looking for some insurance here. Javante Mack, just like the truck, breaks a tackle and barrels through and on to daylight for the 85-yarder. 34-20 the final. Irondequoit wins big tonight. How about Gates Chili and Brockport? Another matchup under the lights. Brockport off to the great start tonight. Dylan Brown punching it up the middle and in. 7-0 Blue Devils. They had the early lead. It was short-lived, though, because Gates Chili comes right back down the field. Malcolm Frazier to Marcus McGill. Look at the hits here at the end. McGill injured his shoulder on the play. Spartans go on to win, however, 34-13 the final. All right, how about this one at Eastridge and Athena? At Athena, Eastridge had a rough go the last couple of years. Looked that way today. Eastridge was up 14-0, but Athena rallies back. Dimitri Rivera hauling that one in. The game was tied at 14, but fourth quarter, 25 seconds left. Eastridge lined up for the field goal. You know they're faking it, and they do. Donald Young finds Miles Young, and look at the grab right there, and he hangs on for the winner. Eastridge, 21-14. They improved to 1-1 on the season. How about Webster Schroeder at Pittsford?
It comes a day early this week, but several Section 5 teams will be on the fields tonight for games instead of tomorrow night. 13 Wham's Chuck Wade is at Eastridge High School, where there is a special homecoming set to take place. Chuck?
Yeah, Doug, they moved the games up because Yom Kippur begins tomorrow night at sundown, so with the Jewish holiday in mind, a lot of Thursday night football, including here at Eastridge, where the Lancers have something special going on. They're playing their first home football game in over a year because they've got this brand new artificial surface that was put down all of last year. Because of that, the football team played every game last season on the road. Now, it comes with the twist, this new field does, because it's a multi-purpose facility. A lot of teams are using it. That means the football field, the football team really hasn't gotten a lot of chances to practice on this field. Instead, they're behind the middle, and they're on the other side of the high school, actually, because you've got boys soccer, girls soccer, field hockey. The field hockey team actually was just on this field, splitting it with the football team. So because of playing all the games last year on the field, on the road last year, these guys say the wait's been worth it.
It definitely makes it more exciting when we actually do get to play on the field. And I mean, coming over here is kind of an inconvenience, but it definitely is like suspenseful when we actually get to play that first game on that field and open up and have our fans watching us on it, and finally having a home after not having one for a whole year.
Yeah, home sweet home. They're liking it. You can feel the energy of the team behind us. They're joking around. Very lighthearted attitude out here tonight. Also coming off a real big win, an upset last night over Greece Athena. We're going to talk about that coming up a little later in sports at 6 o'clock.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, the high school football weekend starts tonight. Thursday night football to accommodate the start of Yom Kippur. Among the teams playing tonight, Eastridge. Now, they're coming off a last-minute win when they got a victory against Athena last night. That was good on the road. Tonight, they come back home, and we continue talking football. In fact, we go live out to Irondequoit tonight, where they're playing at their new home, and that's where we find Chuck Wade. Chuck?
Yeah, Mike, it's been a long time coming for this team. Last year, you should have called the Lancers the Road Warriors. They played all their games on the road while this brand new field behind me was being built. Tonight, the wait's over. Eastridge is finally home here at the new field. Like you said, they've been on the road the first 2 weeks of the season. Even during the week, they can hardly get on the field to practice because it's a multi-purpose field. That means field hockey, girls soccer. Somebody's always using this field Monday through Friday. But you know what? Tonight against Canandaigua, the field belongs to the football team. The wait is over.
I feel like it should be fun. I've been waiting all year since last year. We were playing at Bishop Kearney every day or every game. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be exciting. I've been looking forward to this game for a long time now. It's definitely gonna be fun. It's gonna be intense. If you can't get excited for this game, there's something wrong with you.
Tonight, Mike, they've got Canandaigua. This will be a big win for this Eastridge team. They're 1-1. Got the momentum off that win at Athena. We'll see how they do tonight at 11 o'clock.
All right, Chuck, and we know we have plenty of highlights tonight, including that game. We'll have all that for you tonight at 11 o'clock.
A little change in the high school football schedule. Yom Kippur tomorrow, moving some of the games up to Thursday. So we got Thursday night football.
Yeah, and they were ready to play tonight. You know, because of that, we had games going on this evening, including one at 6 o'clock. We told you tonight about East Irondequoit. After a year of playing every game on the road, they finally got their new field to play on tonight. A proud group of Eastridge or East Irondequoit Lancers take it to the field tonight to play a tough Canandaigua team. For Eastridge, Ethan Printy to Mike Mortellaro for the touchdown. They led it 7-6, but right before the half, the Eastridge pass is tipped and picked off by George Van Booker. He would go the distance. Canandaigua winning tonight at East Irondequoit. The final on that one, 25-13. We have plenty more highlights coming up later in sports.
All right. Hey, thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, turn on the lights. It's Section 5 football night. They got things started for the weekend a bit early with games tonight. We're going to take you around the area. We'll start at Gates-Chili. What a good one tonight. Gates-Chili and Irondequoit. Gates up 6-0. Javante Mack of Irondequoit takes the kickoff, and he is gone. From his own 15, 85 yards for the touchdown. Irondequoit leading it 7-6. Gates-Chili coming back. Malcolm Frazier finds Stephen Tuccarelli here for the touchdown. Game evened at 28 at halftime, but third quarter, it's Mack who takes over. Going over, tackle there, and into the end zone from 10 yards out, and he wasn't finished. Mack again, this time from 5 yards out. Lots of points tonight in this one. Irondequoit wins it 46-28. Pittsford traveling to Rush-Henrietta tonight. First quarter, Panthers up 3-0. And then it's Ashton Brold to Justin Medley for the touchdown to make it 7-3 RH. Then watch Devin Wofford here. He is going to take the handoff, and he's gone. 42 yards for the touchdown. Look at the move there. Rush-Henrietta, another move, and another one. He's going to keep running. Let him go. Touchdown. Royal Comets, they win tonight, 35-3. At that new East Irondequoit field tonight, Eastridge taking on Canandaigua in this one for the Braves. Derek Peters with the touchdown run right at you to make it 6-0. Then it's Peters again, who's going to ramble to the end zone to put his team up 12-7. Canandaigua wins at East Irondequoit tonight, the final 25-13. And Fairport all over Penfield at Penfield tonight, already up 25-0. Kyle Coveley picked off by Luke Santa. There, great position. Then last play of the game, it's Blaze Reardon who's going to get the sack to end it tonight. The win for Fairport, 25-0. Now,
hey, football tonight too, right? High school football?
A couple of really good teams we're going to start with tonight. New at 11 tonight, we have a great matchup in high school football. East and McQuaid, both teams undefeated. How about McQuaid outscored two teams 91-0. East had outscored two 99-12. We have highlights from Seymour Field tonight at McQuaid. McQuaid down to Connor Emmerich with the quarterback keeper in the touchdown. Put them ahead, but East would come back. Jason Williams with the end around, and he's in for the score. East wins tonight. The final on that one, 32-18. Later in sports, more high school highlights and a dramatic end to tonight's Yankees game. We'll have that later in sports.
All right.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
The Section 5 weekend started last night, but still plenty of high school football tonight. We're going to begin with this one. Brockport taking on Hilton. Second quarter of this one. Brockport's going to grab the lead. Marlon Myers is the quarterback. He's going to look for Ben Benham on the slant, and it's a touchdown, making it 6-0. They weren't done. Myers to Markel Collins. Long bomb. What a throw. What a catch. What a score. 58 yards to make it 14-zip. Brockport in front. Hilton would get on the board. Corey Enders with the TD run coming at you to make it 14-7, but not enough tonight. Brockport wins it 34-14. Avon hosting Caledonia-Mumford in a Livingston County matchup tonight. First quarter, Avon quarterback James Stanton going deep, looking for his guy, but John Capitelli's there to pick it off. Defense there from Capitelli. Later, he would have some offense. Cutting through the Avon defense for the score, putting his team in front. Then later, Calmum knocking at the door in the second quarter. Trevor Haught leaping over the line for the score. Caledonia-Mumford wins it tonight 16-8. How about Livonia and Hornell tonight? Hornell won that one big. Plus, we have McQuaid in this one. McQuaid against East, all East high in the second half of this one, though McQuaid did get the touchdown there to take an early lead in this one. East took advantage of some McQuaid mistakes. Bad snap there. That would go for a safety. And then East put it on at the end for the touchdown. East high rolling to the victory tonight, the final 32-18. And that's
now 15 Wham Sports.
All right, we'll begin this one with a high school football matchup. It's been one of the best this decade. Bragging rights in Webster on the line with Schroeder making the trip to Thomas today. Let's get to the highlights. The old friends were ready for it today, and, well, we'll go right to the fourth quarter. Thomas up 7-6, less than 5 minutes to go. High snap over Jake Boland's head, and Thomas would recover, but they had to kick it away. They gave Schroeder a last chance. Schroeder was down a point, but Michael Colicchio all over the field, and then look at the catch. Troy Antonora, yes, both feet in for the touchdown. It was 12-7 Schroeder. One last chance for Thomas. Boland goes rolling deep here, and he's trying to make something happen. Needing the touchdown under pressure, he puts it up, but it was knocked down, incomplete. Intended for Matt Dibble. Low scoring, but high on the excitement at the end. Schroeder wins it today, 12-7. Let's go to Spencerport. The Rangers hosting Churchville. The pep band ready. It was homecoming this week at Spencerport. Everything went great out there. Second quarter, sophomore Josh Powell up the middle. Churchville looking good. And the 9-yard touchdown there. Saints up by 14. Spencerport driving the other way. 10 seconds to go in the half. Andy Watson to Anthony Romano for the 6-yard touchdown pass. That made it a little closer. We go to the third quarter, though. Taylor Comer to Scott Champ in for the touchdown. Churchville runs away in the second, 43-15. The final score. Bishop Kearney today, a 1 o'clock start. They were taking on Buffalo St. Joe's and Jim Kelly's nephew, Chad Kelly, a quarterback who's got his receiver, and then a little trickery. The hook and ladder, Kent Greer takes it in, 14-0 St. Joe's. St. Joe's knocking on the door, end of the first half. This time, Kelly showing he's not just a thrower, he can run. Answers the door himself, 44-0 St. Joe's wins today over Bishop Kearney. On the scoreboard, Wilson over Marshall today, 27-22 the final, and Edison 30-6 the final over Franklin this afternoon.
Friday Night Football is back tonight with a full schedule of games around town, and 13 Wham's Chuck Wade has a spot on the sidelines in Irondequoit tonight, where there's a big game less than 2 hours from starting. It feels like you were in Irondequoit once before this season. Yes?
Yeah, Ginny, you know, you talk about a lot of these teams that are normally good in Section 5. Aquinas, Rush-Henrietta with Ashton Broiled this year. Gates-Chili is always good. Eagles think they've got something pretty special here this season. Not only have they won their first 3 games, they've done it all incredibly convincingly, winning each by at least 14 points. They're averaging 39 points a game this season. They really had no issues in beating some big teams, too. They opened the season with a win over Spencerport, then they beat Churchville, and it's homecoming tonight. We just saw the homecoming parade here. That's where a lot of the students are at the moment. A lot of excitement around this game, and you add it all in with the fact that they play Fairport tonight. The Red Raiders, a traditionally strong program. They're down this year, coming off their first win of the season, so things looking pretty good here for Irondequoit. Now, coming up later at 6, we just talked with their head coach, Wade Bianco. He's very excited about tonight's game, told us what he thinks his team has to do to make it to 4-0, and then they get back into that conversation about maybe the best team in Section 5. Ginny?
All right. Hey, thanks, Chuck. We'll look forward to the highlights coming up at 11.
Well, tough to find better weather for football. We know it's going to change later, but right now, not bad at all. Busy night of games. Chuck Wade is live in Irondequoit with a look ahead to sports tonight. Chuck?
Hey, Don, the Eagles looking to do something really special tonight. They're already 3-0 on the season. They get to 4-0 tonight, hopefully, against Fairport. They have yet to play a close game this season. And you're right, the weather, a long as the rain holds off, should be unbelievable tonight. Right now, it's great, and that's exactly the same word you could use to describe the way things have gone for Irondequoit. They've done nothing but score in each of their 3 games, well over 30 points. They're hoping to continue that streak tonight against Fairport. They averaged 39 a game. The Red Raiders have their work cut out for them if they want to have any chance of the upset. Now we're going to hear from the Irondequoit guys coming up later in sports, and it's Friday night. Mike Catalana and I have our Bills picks, although you don't need to be a Rhodes Scholar to figure out which way we're going this week.
We can probably guess which way you're going on this one. All right. Hey, thank you.
We'll hold on.
All right. Thank you, Chuck. We'll check back with you a little bit later on.
Now, 15 Wham Sports.
All right, we're live at Irondequoit tonight. If the rain holds off, it's going to be a great night for football weather. The Irondequoit Eagles have got Fairport tonight. Irondequoit looking to go 4-0. They've been playing some great football this year, and they got this one tonight against the Red Raiders. Now, in their 3 games, the Eagles have managed to score no less than 34 points with their lowest margin of victory, 14. They've got a pure playmaker. His name's Javante Mack. He can score from anywhere on the field, but tonight, against a Fairport team that's just 1-2, they've got to protect against the letdown.
We've been taking advantage of our opportunities on offense, playing really strong defense in the second half of all the games, and won the turnover battle every week. So that usually results in a positive outcome.
It usually does. Now, here's a look at the other games tonight. We've got the Irondequoit one here. Wilson is at Gates, homecoming for the Spartans. Victor in Eastridge, unbeaten Rush-Henrietta in Brockport tonight. And Franklin has Webster, Schroeder, all those games tonight on 13 Wham News at 11.
Didn't feel like football weather tonight, did it?
No, but it will tomorrow, so maybe we got the last kind of baseball weather football games in tonight.
Yeah, Don, a couple of big games, especially the one in West Irondequoit tonight. They got a good thing going this year just off Titus Ave. The Eagles were 3-0 coming into this game. Now, they had Fairport. None of the games had been close this season. Fairport just 1-2. So you thought it'd be a blowout. Well, it was also homecoming. They had everything going for them at Irondequoit. And look at this. First quarter, they get it started. Brielle Caples to Joel Miller, and he's throwing it to Lauren Caples for the long touchdown. That made it 7-0 Irondequoit. But in the second quarter, Fairport tries to get back into it. Jerry Warner, the keeper, up the middle. He's in for the touchdown. Now, Irondequoit had averaged 39 points a game. They scored only 13 tonight, but it was enough. Fairport just 9, so 13-9. So they're 4-0. I think they're one of the best teams in the area in Section 5. And we've got all the other games tonight coming up a little later.
All right, Chuck, thank you.
Yep.
Now, 15 Wham Sports.
Irondequoit wasn't the only big game tonight. Unbeaten Rush-Henrietta made the trip down Route 531 to Brockport. They were hoping to hold off a Blue Devil beatdown tonight. Brockport down 14-0 early in this one, but they weren't out of it. Dylan Brown, he's in the highlights every time we show the Blue Devils this year. And look at this guy go, 95 yards for the touchdown. Brown could really run. Brockport was down 14-6. Now, Brown wasn't done either. Watch this play right here. He is going to give Rich Donnelly a first-class introduction. Rich, next time move. After that, Rush goes back to work. Ashton Broiled finds Chauncey Schism for the score. RH rolls in this one, 52-20. At Gates Chili, it was homecoming tonight. They celebrated. They had Wilson Magnet in town. Marcus McGill liked it a lot. He gets the big play on defense here in the fourth quarter. Interception right there, right in front of the camera. Spartans were cruising in this one. Now, later on this one, we lose sight of the ball. Dick Donnelly apparently still feeling effects of his earlier collision, but he made it up. There's Jeffrey Hayden. He's gone for the touchdown. Sorry, Rich. Gates wins 42-14. How about Victor at Eastridge tonight? Third quarter, Richie Shoot going for Josh Maves. Victor's got a really good team this year, and they show just why tonight. Nice touchdown grab right in front of the camera. 23-0 the final. Victor gets the win tonight. How about in Webster? Webster Schroeder taking on Franklin. We'll pick this one up in the third quarter. Michael Colicchio threw for the game winner last week. This week, guys, take it easy. I'll take it myself. In from 6 yards out. Webster was up big in this one. Later on, they keep pouring it on. Andrew Nix, he goes 26 yards and in for the touchdown. Schroeder wins this one tonight, 35-6. earlier tonight, we showed you homecoming at Irondequoit. The Eagles taking on Fairport. First quarter, they get it started. Look at this play. Brielle Caples to Joel Miller to Lauren Caples. What a touchdown catch. That made it 7-0 Irondequoit. The high-flying Eagles a little lower tonight, but they win just the same. The final there, 13-9.
Now, 15 Wham Sports.
We had a big weekend in Section 5 football, homecoming for many schools, but we're going to start with one of the biggest rivalries in Section 5, McQuaid and Aquinas. The Little Irish look to be a state title contender again this year, and McQuaid is the only Section 5 school on their schedule. Up 7-0 in the first quarter, Mike Messina takes it in for the Little Irish, 14-0 Aquinas. Then in the second quarter, Nick Labruto takes it in for the 1 yard, all the way down to the 1 yard line. A huge gain for Aquinas. That leads to another touchdown. It was all a Q today. McQuaid tries to battle back, but Clay Heston gets the pick six. Aquinas wins its only game against a Section 5 opponent, 49-10. Homecoming day for Greece Athena. They hosted Greece Arcadia. Second quarter, Anthony Kenglozio punches through the line for a 1 yard touchdown. Now, later in the second, this is right before halftime, Athena comes up big with a huge defensive play on special teams. They block the punt in Arcadia's side of the field. Now, that blocked punt sets up this nice scramble from Connor Johnson. Athena wins on homecoming day, 10-7. And how about Pittsford and Hilton? Panthers trailing by 13 with just under 10 minutes to go. Dominic DeLuca in from just a couple yards out, trailing by just 7 after that one. Now Pittsford has the ball again. Grant Hyman to Eric Bianco on the screen pass. Bianco takes it all the way down to the goal line, a gain of over 40 yards on that play. That sets up Hyman. He's going to get right across the goal line for the QB keeper. Pittsford takes the lead at home. It's 28-27. Hilton tried to tie it up, but Alex Kober picks it off to seal the game. Pittsford wins, a thriller at Mendon High School. Now checking out some other scores. Livonia beats Wayland-Cohocton 48-28, and junior Derek Peters ran for 160 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead Canandaigua past Brighton. East and Webster Thomas underneath the lights tonight off Atlantic Avenue. First half, Michael Perkins finds Jameek Thomas. The senior wide receiver makes a great catch in the end zone. That was a touchdown for East. And the Orientals would show signs of a tough defense too. This interception in the third quarter led to another touchdown. East wins 22-7. In other scores from around Section 5, Marshall down Spencerport, and Holly are also winners tonight. They beat Elba Byron Burgeon 24-12.
Yeah.
That's a check on sports.
That's a busy night, really.
A lot of action around Section 5 and colleges. It's just that type of year.
It's exciting stuff, though. Thanks, Rich. We will be right back with the final check of the forecast.
It is the Battle of the Chi-Li's. Mike Catalana out there at one of the big games tonight. We're going to go to him live now. Hey.
Yeah, you know, look, I even wore my new jacket for tonight. What do you think?
Pretty.
Got the whole outfit. We're
Looks
ready
good.
for tonight. What a great night for high school football this is, too. The weather really perfect, a little bit of sun, but it just feels like football tonight. We are at Churchville-Chili. They're taking on their biggest rival, Gates-Chili, tonight, and it's senior night for the players here this evening. Now, these teams are both off to good starts this year. Both are 3-1. Both can run the football. Both can score. Churchville averaging 35 points a game. Gates is averaging 31, so we can expect a lot of points. A year ago, Gates won the Battle of Chili. Tonight, a chance for a little payback.
Well, certainly there are crosstown rivals, you know, both the Chili schools. It's kind of for bragging rights, and I think both programs have really established themselves. They've been around longer than us, but we've had a good past decade. So we're just telling them, you know, you're going to see these guys the rest of your life, and you'll see them in passing, you'll see them in college, you'll see them all different phases of your life, and it'll be for bragging rights for that time in your life.
Yeah, nothing quite like bragging rights, especially when we're talking about high school football. Now, coming up later at 6 o'clock, we'll hear more about what we can expect from this game tonight. And, guys, one of the other games that we're going to be shooting and bringing you highlights for at 11 o'clock, Avon and Letchworth at Letchworth. Letchworth not only unbeaten, they've yet to give up a point in a game so far this year. All that coming your way at 11, but we'll have sports live from here at Churchville-Chili tonight at 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live, Mike Catalana, 13 Wham Sports.
Thanks, Mike. More of that coat.
Oh, yeah. Wonder where he got that coat. I didn't get one.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, Friday Night Lights high school football tonight brings us to Churchville this evening for a battle of the Chi-Li's going on behind me. It is senior night, so the seniors from here in Churchville on the field with their families. They're looking to avenge last year's loss to Gates 34-13, looking for a little payback tonight. After a down year last year, Churchville is much improved this year. They're 3-1. They're piling up the points. They're averaging 35 points a game. Now they're taking on their rivals from Gates tonight, and the coach expects both teams to be ready for this one.
You know, that's a real good question. Sometimes as coaches, I think we feel like they need to be told, but they know. They know. They see these kids all around. In fact, it's different. Football's different from when I was a young kid. We didn't even know the other teams were playing about. These kids seem to know each other with Facebook and just being around. Yeah, they know. They know, and they're ready to play, and I'm sure both teams will come out and do a great job.
Yeah, Facebook even makes it into high school football. We'll have highlights of this one, plus games around the area tonight at 11 o'clock.
And football weather for sure here coming up, and a good night, you're telling us, for high school games.
Well, and especially one team. We took a little ride to watch them play tonight. The Letchworth football team has been perfect this year, but their 4-0 record only tells part of the story. They haven't been scored on all season, all shutouts. 151 scored, 0 given up. Tonight, taking on their rival from Avon this evening. Second play from scrimmage for Letchworth, and they get right to it on offense. Chris Noringer is going to take it and go right down the sidelines. He is gone for 52 yards, and just like that, Letchworth had a 7-0 lead. How did that defense do tonight? Well, Matt Maley's going to come up here with the interception, and that would be part of yet another shutout tonight. When it was over, the final was 41-0, Don. 192-0 so far this year for Letchworth. And we have more high school football highlights from all over the area later in sports.
Tough to think how you prepare to go up against them.
It's tough. You got to try to score first. Score before you can win.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, Friday night high school football tonight. We're going to begin with the Battle of Chi-Li. We were out there live at 6 o'clock tonight at Churchville on senior night for the Saints, out with their families before the game, but Gates Chi-Li came in to spoil the party. Malcolm Fraser on the keeper. He is gone. 55 yards for the score, tying this one up 7-7. Then in the second quarter, Frazier again at it this time. He's going to look to pass and find Marcus McGill, who's going to make the catch and take it in, diving into the end zone. 21-7 Gates. They go on to win tonight over Churchville-Chili, 34-14. We head to McQuaid, where the Knights took on Marshall tonight. First quarter of this one. Marshall's going to score first. Manuel Grice finds Mike Brown. Nice pass, touchdown. 2-point conversion made it 8-0. But still in the first, McQuaid comes back. Freddie Washburn breaks off the long run. He's gone. Touchdown. 8-7, though. Marshall still in front. McQuaid, though, built a 15-8 lead. Then Tommy Leone's going to pick off the pass and take it the distance. With his teammates cheering him on, he would go in to score. McQuaid would win tonight over Marshall, 36-8. In Brockport tonight, the Blue Devils taking on Spencerport in this one. Pick it up in the third quarter. Marlon Myers of Brockport to Markel Collins over the defender. What a catch. Sets him up for the first down, and those two weren't done. Come right back at him on the other side. This time for the touchdown. What a play. Brockport, a winner tonight, 32-14. At Perry tonight, the Yellow Jackets taking on Caledonia-Mumford, and Cal Mum, tough as always. They dominated. John Capitelli breaking through for the score, made it 45-0. They would blank Perry this evening, the final in that one, 52-zip. And the Avon Braves against Letchworth tonight. Letchworth rolling this season, not giving up a point all year. Already up 14-0 when Chris Nevinger takes it the distance. 50 yards for the score. He had 256 yards on the ground. Then it's Ryan Owens with the keeper for another touchdown. Letchworth, another shutout tonight. They win it by a final of 41-0.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
At perfect weather today if you're watching or playing. The battle for Greece between Athena and Olympia renewed this afternoon. We'll start with that one. It was at Olympia this afternoon, and the Spartans, well, they got things rolling early on. Billy Slocum making it work on both ends, running outside the pocket and hits Abdel Kuza, one of his 3 catches today for 51 yards. It was 21-10 Olympia. Athena trying to get back in it, fourth quarter. Sean Charles thinking other thoughts. He's got it. He's going all the way the other way for the touchdown. That sealed it. Olympia wins today 27-18. Hey, not far from there. Arcadia, Canandaigua in town. First quarter, Arcadia tries the shuttle pass, and well, Dave Richenberg's not supposed to be there, but he was, and he's gone 70 yards of green in front of him. Yeah, look at the big guy go, and he gets a big jump celebration there. Second quarter now, Justin Powers. Great work getting around the edge, and a plunge for the goal line. He was just short. He scored the next play. It was okay. 14-0 Braves. Problems continued for Arcadia. Bad snap there. Scooped up, taking the end zone. Canandaigua rolls today, 42-28, the final score. All right, great one here. Webster, Schroeder, and Fairport. We'll start right off. First quarter, Webster's Michael Colicchio airing it out. Brendan Jones for the touchdown. It was 7-0 Warriors. Now, Fairport answers, though. Keith Daprick going to take it in and tie it up from 4 yards out on the option right in front of you. So that tied it up. Let's go ahead to the fourth quarter now. Webster's Parrish McKnight. He's been a solid guy at quarterback this year, making it happen. Picks up a big one. This is for 19 yards. It would set up a field goal. But Chris Ingracia lines it up and misses wide right. So that kept the game tied at 7. After the field goal, though, Fairport Sean Hamlin gains 35 yards. The big run with time running out. He gets out of bounds. Okay, so with 1 second left, Colin Wheatley on. Ball game over. Fairport wins it 10-7. The celebration is on. Hey, heck of a finish in that one. All right, Pittsford and Penfield. This one at St. John Fisher today, first quarter. Dominic DeLucia. Been saying his name a lot this year. There he is. There he goes. Evades one last tackler there. He's in for the touchdown 75 yards later. It was 14-6 Pittsford. Later in the quarter, DeLucia gets the pitch. A little trickeration here. Hands it off. The wide receiver's going to run it. Now throw it. Go ahead. Grant Heyman, the quarterback, with the catch. Touchdown Panthers. 35-20. Pittsford wins on the scoreboard this afternoon. RH, 60-7 over Webster Thomas. East over Edison, 48-0. All right, of all the names in Section 5, nobody has been more perfect than Letchworth. Literally. Aside from the 5-0 start, the Indians haven't allowed a single point this season. And on offense, well, they scored 151 just coming into the game. This is last night. I'm going to show you again because they've been so good this year. Second play from scrimmage, Chris Neuringer down the sidelines. Nobody caught him. 52 yards for the touchdown. That was points 148 right there. It was 14-0, and they show why they're so good this year. Letchworth defense, stingy is one way to describe them, and even that's conservative. Intercepted, Matt Mayo, 41-0 the final last night. And for the season, the grand total, Letchworth 192, opponents 0. Hey, another Saturday high school football spoken for, and as the season winds down, several teams continue to make their runs toward sectionals. We're talking about Eastridge tonight. Homecoming day, the paint was out. So were the points. Look at this pass. Ethan Printy. It's pretty. Going up in the air. 62 yards to Nate Corbett. Eastridge took the early lead. Now just 3 plays later, HFL's Dylan Sweatman says, I can do it too. 43 yards to Alex Obenhofer. That retook the lead. Fourth quarter now. HFL up 35-34. Shamik Johnson takes it in, and that was the clincher. Eastridge moves to 2-3 with 2 games left, hoping to play their way into the postseason. How about Webster Schroeder taking on Fairport today? We'll pick it up first quarter. Webster's Michael Colicchio. He has been really good this year. He's looking for Brendan Jones. 30 yards in the air. Jones wide open for the touchdown. That made it 7-0. Fairport answers. Second quarter. They're going to go to the option here. Keith Daprick is going to be the recipient of the toss, and he is in for the touchdown. That tied the game at 7. Fourth quarter now. 1 second left. Colin Wheatley on for the game-winning field goal. Yes, he got it. Clincher. Celebration is on. Fairport wins 10-7. How about Pittsford and Penfield? This one at St. John Fisher today. Later in the first quarter, Dom DeLucia, he's been one of Pittsford's top runners all year. This time handing it off to Andy Glubkov, the double reverse option to the quarterback, Grant Heyman. And it's in for the touchdown. Pittsford wins today. How about Olympia today? Greece Olympia taking on Greece Athena. Battle for Greece. Sean Charles with a big defensive play today. Intercepts the pass, and he is gone all the way, the entire way. Olympia wins 27-18.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, it's another big night for Section 5 football. Among the undefeated teams on the field tonight, Letchworth. But all wins only tells part of their story. Here's 13 Wham's Chuck Wade.
Looks can be deceiving. 18 players stand together. The entire Letchworth football team. Even they can't believe they've gone 5 games this season without allowing a single point.
Basically just what happens in the game. Sometimes some things happen, and we've been lucky to not allow a point.
Again, just to make sure you heard that right, 18 players, 0 points allowed. They've scored 192.
You know, it's a challenge with 18 kids for the staff and the kids themselves.
We have the JVs and some of our varsity players form a mock defense or mock offense and run plays against them. And it works out pretty good.
Now, teams have come close. Both Leroy and Avon actually made it right here, down to the 2-yard line against Letchworth. But nobody has been able to cross this line, the goal line.
It wouldn't be something I would expect at the beginning of the season. I mean, we just play our hardest, and that's what we're seeing right now.
They're humble to a fault. Why shouldn't they be? Their average margin of victory is only 38-0.
Something we would be proud of, but it's more so that we just play defense like we're taught to.
Just don't try crossing that goal line on them. In Letchworth, Chuck Wade, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, and we'll have their highlights tonight.
Well, at 6 o'clock, we heard about the unbeaten Letchworth football team. They had not given up a point all season. Could they hold it up tonight?
Yeah, under the Friday night lights that we've been talking about, right? Letchworth came into the night, having won all 5 games this year, outscoring their opponents 192-0 in the process. Tonight, they tried to keep it going against Perry in this one. Perry, the latest team, try to get points against the Indians. So what do? They try the fake punt, right? You're going to fool them? No, you're not going to fool Letchworth. The pass is picked off by Ryan Owens here, and that would set up Letchworth on offense. Later on the drive, Chris Nevinger's going to take it in for the touchdown to make it 6-0. Letchworth. Then later in the first quarter, Nevinger with the 38-yard touchdown run. It was 41-0 after 1 quarter. The game ended 55-0 tonight, 247-0 so far this year.
Oh my gosh.
And they only have 18 kids on the varsity squad. They are something else.
They get a workout when a game is over.
They do. Later in sports, highlights from 6 more games around the area tonight.
The best highlights of the week come
Great night
from these Section 5 games. All right, thank you, Mike.
13 Wham News, brought to you by Rochester Area Chevy Dealers.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, it's fall, it's Friday, it's football. Great night to get out to games, so let's get the high school highlights started tonight. We'll begin with big rivals. Cal Mum and Leroy getting together tonight. Caledonia-Mumford got it going in the second half. Matt Hartford to Tyler Loeffner. 51 yards later, it's a touchdown, making it 24-0 Red Raiders. Still in the third, it's Tyler Hopp breaking tackles, going in for the touchdown. Caledonia-Mumford takes care of their rival tonight, winning it big, 42-0. Also from tonight, Churchville-Chili on the road against Hilton. Hilton's DJ Logery here with the short touchdown run. He would get it in for the score, making it 7-0. Later in the second, on a 4th and 1, Mike Ngoya's going all the way. 70 yards for the touchdown. They're not going to catch him. He's gone for the score. The big win tonight. Hilton takes care of Churchville-Chili, 21-13. Brockport against Irondequoit tonight, third quarter. Irondequoit's Brielle Caples here. Quarterback keeper, touchdown. makes it 24-7. Later, Capel's going to pass and look for Rob Spenna. Watch the nice catch there in the end zone for the score. The victory tonight. The final in that one is Irondequoit taking it this evening over Brockport. Gates Chili making the trip to Spencerport this evening. Gates got a big night out of Nick Kaminsky. On 4th and 2, he breaks free and goes. Got the first down, got more. He got a touchdown. Later in the first from midfield, Kaminsky's gone. He's coming right at you for the touchdown. You have the only chance to tackle him. He's going to score. Big victory tonight. The final. Gates Chili wins it 39-6.
Now 13 Wham Sports.
Well, we had a crisp fall day in Rochester, at least that's what Mark McLean tells me, and that means we've got Section 5 football on tap for you right now. We'll start things off with Webster, Thomas, and Pittsford. Hey, they've got lights even though it's daytime. Grant Hyman with the QB keeper. He's going to take this one all the way to the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. They go on top 7-0. Hey, Thomas stuck deep in their own territory. When bad becomes worse, Alex Proper with the pick 6. He ran more yards than there are letters in Kenny Apostolakis. Don't worry, that's a Pittsford thing. All Pittsford today, they win 27-7. Well, we'll pick up Schroeder and Penfield in the third quarter. Nick Costanza is going to go 96 yards after the hit. He keeps on trucking. 96 yards to the house. That makes it 24-21 Schroeder. So Penfield climbing up a little bit. They're back in it. And they would continue to battle back. Kyle Cooley is going to find Kevin Hartman for the score. It's now 28-24. But wouldn't you know it, it's not enough. The Warriors come back to win. 31-30 is the final. Schroeder downs Penfield. Hey, how about Ashton Broiled and the undefeated RH Royal Comets? RH driving in the first. Broiled to Chauncey Schism for the 4-yard touchdown pass. Comets out on top. Later in the first, it's sophomore Bay Barley. He's going to go 56 yards to pay dirt. Talk about a long run. That made it 14-7 at that point. They went to the half at the same score. We'll get the final score tonight at 11. How about Ashton Broiled and the undefeated RH Royal Comets? Rush-Henrietta put up 14 points in the first quarter to put some distance between themselves and Fairport. Sophomore Bay Barley had over 140 yards on just 7 carries. With the win, the Royal Comets clinched the Monroe County Division I title. So checking out some finals around the area. Aquinas over in Buffalo against Canisius. They win 40-16, continuing their dominance over everybody on their schedule. Also this afternoon, Victor wins against Greece Athena on the road 36-7. Well, last night Letchworth remained perfect in so many ways. On the road against Perry, the Indians were dominant. They forced 4 turnovers and racked up 41 points in the first quarter alone. So far through 6 games, Letchworth is undefeated and has not allowed a single point all season long.
Hey, the playoffs are starting in high school football tonight. Sports director Mike Catalana live from the site of one of the games. Hey, Mike. Hey, how's the weather?
You know, it's not really that big. And Jennifer kept begging me to come out to be out with us live today. I told her, no. This is what the fun we get to have in sports is to be out here tonight, right?
You're right. She did not deserve to be out there with you.
With all your friends,
Next time.
right? Oh.
That's it. Exactly. It's not too bad. Oh, no, actually, it's awful at the moment. But it is time for football tonight. We are at McQuaid. They're going to take on Webster Thomas tonight. You mentioned it is the start of sectional play tonight. Now, McQuaid's coming off a pretty good regular season this year. The Knights finished 4-2. Their only losses were to powerhouse Aquinas and unbeaten East High. But now they get a shot at starting what is their season-long goal to win a Section 5 title. But they can't win it until they get their first win, and they'll try to do that tonight.
It's win or go home. It's do or die. So these kids know what's at stake. They have to win tonight. In order for us to move on, we can't look ahead. We can't look past this week. This is a great team coming in. We have to take care of tonight before we can do anything else.
Carry by Danny Howard, good for a McQuaid.
All right, so McQuaid is going to try to get a victory tonight. Look at the umbrella, guys. All right? That gives you an idea of what is going on tonight. That umbrella is shot. I'll put it on my expense report and come back.
Hey, Mike.
With another report tonight at 6 o'clock.
You know what? Actually, Jennifer and I wrote down a series of 10 questions. If you could just hang there for a second, we're going to ask them to you, one by one.
You start naming them. I'll be right back.
You got to go, don't you?
Thanks, Mike.
No problem.
Now, 15 Wham Sports.
All right, we are live with sports out of McQuaid tonight, where the Section 5 football playoffs begin this evening. The Knights taking on Webster Thomas in round number 1 of this one. McQuaid is off to a good start this year, 4-2 on the year. Thomas just a pair of wins and struggling a bit this season, but it's the playoffs and anything can happen. One thing that looks likely to happen tonight is rain for this game this evening. So what does the coach of McQuaid think about the weather?
No, I love the rain. Let it pour. Let it pour. You know, we've got a turf field. It's not going to make a difference. It's going to have a wet ball, but the playing surface is going to be even all the way through. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Other playoff games tonight include games between Brockport and Churchville, Perry taking on Calmon, Notre Dame and Geneseo. Plus, we'll check out Letchworth to see if they can finish the season unbeaten. We'll have the highlights of that game for you tonight at 11 o'clock.
All right, we've been keeping an eye on the record-setting Letchworth football team. Mike's here to tell us how they did tonight.
Yeah, it's unbelievable if you think about it. They came into tonight's regular season finale with a perfect record. And by perfect, I mean not just no losses, no points allowed. A season-long shutout. Tonight, they ended the regular season against Livonia. We were there. First quarter of this one, Livonia trying to get on the board. Steve DiBattista is going to throw the pass, but hey, Letchworth always seems to be there on defense. Chris Nevinger picks it off, and he's on his way. He'd get it all the way down to the 8-yard line to put them in business. And then he's going to take it in for the touchdown. The run there makes it 7-0 Letchworth. We move to the second quarter. Letchworth on offense again. Alan Bookmiller with the TD run made it 14-0. You can guess what they did again tonight. The final, 28-0 tonight. So they go into the playoffs, 273-0
Unanswered
on the season.
points.
Unbelievable tonight. They are starting the playoffs next week. The playoffs actually began tonight. We'll take you there for highlights of other games in the rain this evening.
All right. Hey, thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Now, 15 Wham Sports.
All right, Section 5 football playoffs got going tonight. So did the rain. Miserable night to be in the stands, but the players had to be ready to block it out and go to work tonight. That's what they were doing at McQuaid, where the wind was blowing, the rain was coming down. McQuaid taking on Thomas. Thomas up 7-0 till Danny Howard takes care of that. 30 yards for the touchdown right at you. Knights get it even 7-7. Now Thomas with the ball. Luke Gelosa is going to fumble it here. McQuaid is right there to scoop it up, and they would be in business, and they just get it back to Howard again. This time from 12 yards out, he puts it in. McQuaid goes on to win tonight, advancing in the playoffs. 27-7. Another playoff game tonight. Brockport against Churchville-Chili. Brockport's Paul Height with the TD run. This tied the game at 6. Look at that rain come down. Brockport will go on to the victory tonight. The final in that one, 13-6. Now, Letchworth doesn't start the playoffs until next week, but tonight they were out to close out that perfect regular season. We've got highlights of Letchworth in this one for Livonia. Steve DiBattista unable to hold on to the ball here. Alan Bookmiller's there to scoop it up. Fumble recovery, and well, it's all Letchworth in this one. Chris Nevinger with the TD run. 28-0. Letchworth, a season long of shutouts. 0 given up. They win tonight 28-0. How about Eastridge and Greece Arcadia in this one? First quarter, Miles Young is going to pick off the Arcadia screen pass and go the distance. 57 yards on the return for touchdown. Eastridge, a victory tonight. The final in that one, 12-7. 6.
Hey, we got a lot of football to get to as well this afternoon. What a turnaround. Last night, all the rain, the cold weather. Today was picture perfect. A lot of sectional football action to get to. Let's start with Rush-Henrietta taking on the 8th seed from Wilson. We'll start it right in the first quarter. No score in this one. Ashton Broyle's been so good for this team all year long. Finds Babe Barley, who lays the smackdown on a Wilson defender and keeps going. In for the touchdown. It was 7-0. RH wasn't done. Later in the first, with the defense here, Wilson's Mike James gets popped big time, loses the ball. Sean Malazzo snatches it up, and the Comets get it back. Couple of plays later, Broyle, this time to Christian Harris. He swipes a defender, and he goes in for the touchdown. Rush-Henrietta goes on to win it big today. They advance to the Class AAA semifinals. How about East and Franklin this afternoon? East High going deep early on. They're not wasting any time in this one. Michael Perkins to Jason Huff over the middle, and 50 yards later, East was up 6-0. It would get better for East, that is. Just 3 minutes later, the Orientals go into the air again. This time, Calvin Bain with the grab, 30-yard touchdown. East was all over this one. Then later in the first quarter, John Wood joining the party. He's in from 25 yards out. East 41-2. They win this afternoon. How about this one? Number 3, Pittsford taking on Edison and the Inventors. Already up a touchdown. Grant Hyman finds his tight end, Stephen Troop. He's in easily to score from 14 out. Pittsford was just getting started in this one. Edison driving later in the first. The pass picked off by Rob Alvaro. That would set the Panthers up real nicely, looking to capitalize. Dominic DeLucia, been saying his name all year long. The kid can play. In from 2 yards out. The Panthers roll on, 41-8. The final today. In Gates Chili, the Spartans, the 4 seed taking on 5th seeded Fairport. Third quarter, Gates already up 14-0. Malcolm Frazier looking for the end zone, tipped, and Marcus McGill, spectacular catch, and made it 21-0. Fourth quarter, same score. The pitch to Edward Thompson. He goes in from 12 yards out, touchdown. Gates goes on to win big this afternoon. How about Webster, Schroeder, and Hilton? This one in Class AA. Hilton knocking on the door first quarter. Mike Ingolia takes it in himself, 10 yards for the touchdown. And then we'll go to the third quarter. Mike Colicchio for Webster. Huge run on the keeper. That would set Schroeder up on the 2-yard line. Colicchio, he'd finish the job off, 27. Schroeder. Then we go to the fourth quarter. Parrish McKnight started at quarterback. Now he's playing the running back position. 67 yards. Nobody catches him. Schroeder wins today, 27-13. They will play McQuaid next week.
Schroeder and Hilton, this one in Class AA. Fourth quarter, Parrish McKnight started the season as quarterback. He moved over to running back. Good decision, because look at him go. It's a long way to run. 67 yards. Nobody caught him. Schroeder wins 27-13. They will play McQuaid next week.
It is playoff time in Section 5 football. There's a doubleheader downtown. That is where we find Sports Director Mike Catalana this evening. Where am I turning? Hi there, Mike.
Yeah, Elizabeth, tonight the lights will be on here in a little while. We are set for a doubleheader of Friday night lights of football. Behind me going on right now, Brockport and Irondequoit. Irondequoit has an early 7-0 lead in the playoff game. Coming up next, it is Webster Schroeder taking on McQuaid. And Chuck Wade joins us with more on that matchup coming up later tonight. Chuck?
Yeah, we know a lot about McQuaid. Webster Schroeder's really the interesting team in this matchup tonight. They won AA sectionals last year. This year started with high hopes, but had to make a big change to one of the most important positions due to an injury. That change has made all the difference. Parrish McKnight went down with a hand injury in week 1, leaving Webster Schroeder without a quarterback, or so they thought.
I've always played quarterback since I was younger, and I guess we wanted to try and change things up and try to mix the teams up. And me and Parrish can both play wide receiver and running back and quarterback.
So they switched. Michael Colicchio started taking snaps, and McKnight moved outside.
It was disappointing, all that hard work all summer, but I don't mind changing position. Whatever helps the team the best is fine with me.
And it's worked. Following Schroeder's 0-2 start, they won 3 of 4 to make sectionals and then beat Hilton last week.
People like to decoy on me, so Mike gets to do something else and get another guy the ball, and they're keying on me, which is a good thing.
I personally love it because at first I was just wide receiver, and I've always played quarterback, and I really do like both positions, and I think I'm good at both positions, so I like this a lot better.
Yeah, and he would like it. They've won 4 or 5 since that 0-2 start. They were in danger not even being a sectional team as the defending champs. They like their chances tonight against McQuaid.
All right, now that game is set for tonight, Chuck. Among the games tomorrow, a good one. East High meeting Pittsford. East is hoping to keep their great season, so continue. 2005, that was the last time East High won a sectional football game. This unbeaten team thinks this is their time.
We all have chemistry. We all get along together. There's no arguing in the locker room. We just play together. If somebody makes a mistake, we pick each other up. We play team football.
East had a dominating regular season, unbeaten. They outscored opponents 249-37. So what's the secret to their success?
Secret, we just play team football. That's all we can do. Play team football. We practice hard. We try hard to win.
When they take the field tomorrow against Pittsford, they aren't just trying to win for themselves and their school, but also to prove city schools can play this game too.
It means a lot, you know. I go walk down the hallways, everybody's saying make sure you win on Saturday. All the other city schools are saying represent for the city and everything. Everybody just wants to see us do good.
Yeah, and in the games going on right here, Brockport just had a long touchdown. They're looking to get that game even with Irondequoit coming up at 6. An update on these games, plus plenty more about high school football coming your way at 6 o'clock. Reporting live for Chuck Wade, I'm Mike Catalana, 13 Wham Sports.
Thanks, guys. All right, thanks.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, we are live with sports tonight from Arena Auto Stadium. The Section 5 football playoffs continue this evening. The first game has gone to halftime. Let's show you what's happened so far between Irondequoit and Brockport. They got going earlier tonight, and Irondequoit got their offense going early. We have highlights for you. Brielle Capel, the quarterback, looking deep and finding Lauren Capel on the big gainer. That would set up Irondequoit's first touchdown here of the first half, but Brockport would come back thanks to Dylan Brown, who takes the handoff and is gone. He would go 76 yards for the score. That made it a 7-6 game at that moment. The game right now is at halftime. Irondequoit leading it by a score of 27-12. That's game number 1. For game number 2, Chuck Wade is here with a preview.
Yeah, this is a great one tonight. McQuaid is going to be taking on Webster. Schroeder. McQuaid, of course, made the sectional finals last year. Schroeder won Class AA. They're back tonight. A lot of new guys on this team, but they love their chances against the Jesuit Knights.
I think we can definitely handle them. I think they compare a lot to Hilton, and if our defense plays well and our offense puts up points, we'll be fine.
McQuaid's a good team. They got a lot of people we got to stop. They got a good front 5. Once we stop them and get our offense going, we should be good.
That's Parrish McKnight and Michael Colicchio, both at quarterback, both at running back. Schroeder's won 4 of 5 coming into this game. They like their chances.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. Of course, we'll have highlights of that, plus highlights of Letchworth. They still haven't given up a point yet this season. They're playing tonight. And big games tomorrow, including East and Pittsford. That's all with high school football.
Well, it was a great football night weather-wise, and they turned on the lights downtown. Big night for high schoolers.
Yeah, it's starting down at Marine Auto Stadium. They have started moving the games down there for the sectional semifinals. Tonight, a big matchup in Class AA. McQuaid, Webster, Schroeder. Now, McQuaid, 2 seed. They were hoping to get back to the title game. And Schroeder, well, they were the champs already, defending that title. And they came in having won 4 of 5 games, and they were ready for this one tonight. We'll pick it up in the first quarter. Schroeder's Mike Colicchio looking for his receiver, but that ball is picked off by Danny Howard. He takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line. That set McQuaid up with an early touchdown. The Knights were out in front in the early going, but Webster didn't waste a lot of time coming right back into it. Colicchio hits Parrish McKnight. McKnight's got room to run. He's going to get down deep into McQuaid territory, eventually down to about the 6-yard line. Schroeder would score after that. More McQuaid later on. The inside handoff. Mike Deladia goes up the gut. He's going all the way down to the goal line. McQuaid scored later on, but this one just ended about 10 minutes ago. Schroeder, 27-25 over the Jesuit Knights. They move on. We're going to find out who they would get next Friday in the finals. We get the rest of the games coming up later on.
Good matchup there.
Yeah, some really good ones tonight.
All right, we'll see you soon, Chuck. Thanks.
Now, 15 Wham Sports.
All right, Section 5's best all under the lights tonight. They turned them on early. 5 p.m. downtown with the top seed in AA Irondequoit facing the upstarts from Brockport in the semifinals. The Eagles looking good in this one early on. In the second quarter, they were up 14-12. That's when Brielle Caples gets the snap, fakes a handoff, and the sea just parts. He's got plenty of room to run. 69 yards he goes, never touched on his way to the end zone. That would make it 21-12 Irondequoit. Ensuing kick, they keep it low on the ground, and look at this. Brockport can't bring it in, and Irondequoit gets it back. A couple of plays later, Connor Odell, he gets it, and he's going all the way. Irondequoit all over Brockport tonight, 44-12. The final. How about McQuaid and Schroeder? We showed you a little early on. First half, Webster, Schroeder in position. They give it to the big guy, Mark Guarino Hyde. Come on, everybody. He takes everybody in for the touchdown. Then at the end of the first half, high snap here on the McQuaid punt. The punter kicks it out of bounds. That was a safety. Webster wins it late tonight, 27-25. The final. How about in Class B, the quarterfinals, Batavia and Hornell. Hornell's been really good this year. But the Blue Devils making sectionals for the first time in a long time. Aaron Google to Justin Washington. 42 yards later on the AstroTurf. He's in. Hornell was up by just 8 points. They've beaten everybody this year by a lot. And this happened. Dominic Scavo to Jordan Schwartz. Hornell wins in a shootout, 64-42. All right, talking about good football teams. Letchworth began sectional play tonight in Class C. Still perfect, as in 6-0 on the season. Still perfect, as in 0 points allowed this season. Could they keep that streak going? They were taking on Marcus Whitman in the Class C quarterfinals. First quarter, Chris Nevinger goes 35 yards for the touchdown, and that put the Indians up 20-0. Yeah, we've seen this before. Then in the second half, Clifton Bacon, he gets the handoff in from 12 yards out. It was 50-0 in the second quarter. Letchworth started kneeling. Unfortunately for the Indians, the scoreless streak came to an end, though. Marcus Whitman scored on their backups. Letchworth wins 57-12. I think they'll take it.
An emotional game today for the Geneva High School football team. A week ago, assistant coach Mike Cooper collapsed on the sidelines during a game. He later died. His son was playing that night, and tonight he led his team onto the field one day after his father's funeral. 13 Wham's Evan White spoke with Colin Cooper today.
While teammates stood next to number 11 Colin Cooper this Saturday, he had one thing on his mind, his father Mike.
I know I'm going to still hear him in my head yelling at me when I don't do something right. When I do something right, he's still going to yell at me, find something to yell at me for, but I'm just going to go and play for him today.
Spectators and teammates sported T-shirts honoring the memory of assistant coach Mike Cooper. Support not lost on this player.
The community's just been behind us, and that's really helping us pull through and come together as a family.
While Aquinas honored Mike's memory during a pregame ceremony, the game was a different story. Colin played well, snagging this ball and 7 others, including a touchdown, but his team fell. His family said the important thing was that the team played hard and fought the way Mike Cooper would have wanted. The goal for those who knew him now, they say, is to heal.
Eventually, but it's going to be hard, and he's always going to be in our hearts, and I think his memory is going to live on throughout the community.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
Winless in sectional since 2005, East High thought this might be the year. They rolled through the quarterfinals, meet up with Pittsford tonight. The winner moving on to the AAA finals next weekend. They had to deal with the rain tonight. East, they were okay with that. Michael Perkins takes it in on the keeper in the early going. East had the early 6-0 lead, but in the second quarter, Pittsford comes right back. Dominic DeLucia, he puts it in from 2 yards out. That tied the game back up at 6. Then just before halftime, Pittsford gets another one. Grant Hyman to Matt Sullivan. What a catch. Pittsford went into the locker room with a 13-6 lead. Then in the second half, Panthers put it away on the 8-yard run from DeLucia. That was enough. Pittsford wins it tonight, 23-12. How about the other AAA semifinal? Top-seeded Rush-Henrietta and Gates-Chili. Gates had tied this one at 14, then Ashton Broyle just goes and starts the air show up. Actually, this is Marcus McGill going long for the touchdown. And Gates was back behind 14-7. Now it was tied at 14. Ashton Broyle going to the air. Justin Medley for the touchdown catch made it 20-14 RH. Broyle wasn't done either. Look at this one. Airing it out to Devin Mayo, who makes the catch, and he's still got work to do. Hang on. See you later. In for the touchdown. RH improves to 8-0. They have a spot in the finals with a big 66-21 win tonight. How about Geneva? The fans wearing green is a sign of respect for Mike Cooper, the fallen coach. Aquinas taking them on at Aquinas' stadium today. Second quarter, Corey Benedetto finds Taylor Byrne for the 31-yard touchdown. Aquinas was rolling today. They got the ball back just 2 minutes later, and they kept it going. Mike Messina had a big day today. Picks up 13 yards here, and he only needed 13. In for the touchdown. AQ wins it big, 41-14. Another quarterfinal in Class A, Eastridge and Wayne. Second quarter, Eastridge goes to the air. This pass is going to be tipped and intercepted by Corey McNamara. McNamara had a huge game today. Couple of picks on the night, and we're not done hearing from him. He took that one all the way the other way, 36 yards. Wayne was up 12-0. Now, Eastridge was within 2. It was 15-13 late in the game. But McNamara and his band comes up with the strip, and that seals it. Wayne gets the first sectional win in school history, 15-13 over Eastridge. Elsewhere around Section 5 on the scoreboard this afternoon, Notre Dame of Batavia falls to Dundee in the afternoon, 23-21. Dundee scored on a late touchdown, and Canandaigua victorious as well.
The officials will bring the captains to the center of the field for the introduction. Mr. Coyne. Javante Mack on the carry. Touchdown Warriors.
Not one person said we wanted to kick the field goal. It was all, everybody voted that we wanted to go for the win. It was just, if I could describe it in one word, it was just surreal. It was the most unbelievable moment of my life.
False start offense. Pass. Red pass. Complete to out wide. Touchdown, Rush-Henrietta. Kevin Mine on the receiving end.
Well, last night, Class AA Finals, Irondequoit was down 3. 4 seconds left. They go for the fake field goal. Awesome. Emery Potion and Joel Miller, and they won the sectional title. What a great finish. Webster Schroeder called timeout before the play. Irondequoit was going to kick the field goal, but in the huddle, said, we're going for the win. Proof that democracy still works. How about Letchworth today, taking on Wayland-Cohocton? First play from scrimmage. Letchworth, Ryan Owens, I've got this one. He's gone 74 yards. touchdown. Letchworth, they were just getting started. They were up 7-0. Later in the first, Owens, it's good to share, flips the ball to Alan Bookmiller. There he is, and here he goes. 40 yards later in the end zone. Letchworth running away with this one like they've done every single game this year. Some defense in the second quarter. They only allowed points in one game this year. Jordan Andrews sacks Evan Englert, and they win 47-0. How about the Class D finals? Break out the bagpipes. The Scots of Dundee hosting DeSales today. First quarter, Dundee's Nick Rapley to Kyle Spinks. He's in for the touchdown. Dundee was up early on. Now, DeSales didn't give up in this one. Jimmy Wilson Jr. is the quarterback, returning kicks. They do it all in Class D. Long return that set up a touchdown, but it wasn't enough. Dundee, with a big second half, they win at 29-22.
It will be hard to top last night's fake field goal finish from Irondequoit, but from a team standpoint, it's hard to top Hornell. In fact, nobody's beaten the Red Raiders in a game since 2008. Defending state champs hosting East Rochester Canandaigua in the Class B semis. First quarter, Hornell's Sam Stonerock living up to his name, being a tough runner. 23 yards for the touchdown and the destruction of our cameraman. Way to hang in there, buddy. Hornell taking the lead. ER driving later in the first. Pat McCormick, though, for Hornell, this is just kind of like a punt. Weight under it, yoink, falls right into his hands. And then more from Hornell, this time in the fourth. It's going to be Stonerock, yet another touchdown for the big running back to put it away. Hornell wins 34-0. How about Mid-Lakes and Attica in the other Class B semifinal? Second quarter, Dalton Donk. Might as well just say doink. He's just going to bounce off a couple people, run through people. Mid-Lakes up by 6 after the touchdown run, and Mid-Lakes a 35-15 winner. They are on to the finals. Class C.
Let's go to the Section 5 sectionals. Sunday at Marina Auto Stadium, and a full slate of games began at 11 a.m., continues as we speak. We'll start in Class A. Canandaigua trying to spring the upset on Aquinas. First quarter, 8Q, 4th and 7. They're going. Corey Benedetto to Chris Bostic for 15 yards. Heck of a grab. And the first down. Later in the drive, Tim Young busts through the line for the touchdown. AQ up 7-0. They lead 34-7 at halftime as we speak. Let's get back to football. All the sectional final matchups this weekend are now set. Two big ones tonight in Class A. Let's start between Canandaigua and undefeated Aquinas, the Little Irish. Getting up big first half. Corey Benedetto finds Tim Young over the middle. 35 yards later, that was a touchdown. More from Young, other side of the ball this time. Look at him going after the quarterback, and the pile driver drops him down. He gets the sack. Aquinas gets the win and a spot in the sectional finals, 48-21. The other Class A semifinal, Victor and Wayne. First quarter, Victor, they brought the pressure all day long, and it paid off. Mason Underhill comes up with the big interception. One of 6 interceptions by Victor in the first half. On the very next play, Richie Shute looking for Matt Koval. Nobody covers him. 10-yard touchdown. Victor onward to victory tonight. Big winners over Wayne. Elba and Holly, Class C semifinals. Cadish Norford for the 8-yard touchdown run. That put Holly up 14-0. This was a school that didn't even have football a couple years back. Then with under a minute left, Holly goes for the flea flicker. Chad Barheit to John Penna. 30 yards later, Holly wins 29-0. Tough one, though, next weekend. They've got Letchworth, perfect this season, in the final. And on the scoreboard, the 11 a.m. Class Double D finals today. Calmum, 54-14 over Avon. The Red Raiders now have won 14 sectional titles. That ties Leroy, the most ever in Section 5 history.
13 Wham News, brought to you by Aspen Dental.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, on Friday night, Irondequoit faked a field goal and got a TD pass on the final play to beat Schroeder and win a sectional title. Now, the players told us afterward they voted to make that call. As Chuck Wade tells us in this Election Day investigation on the play, all votes don't count the same.
Like any good politician, Wade Bianco isn't afraid to make a tough call.
So I looked at Emmy, I said, hey, Em, what do you think? I want to fake this thing. I want to run the Fresno play.
I told him I would go for it, and I said, ask the rest of the team.
I think we got a lot of Democrats on our team because I only heard 2 Republicans. I don't know, Coach. Like Richard Nixon, that's a little bit, risky.
Took a little vote, and everybody just wanted to go for it, so that's basically what happened.
It was kind of like the votes that Stalin used to have, where, you get 11 votes and I get 12.
With a success rate like this, Bianco might make a great politician, especially when you consider the fact that over half his constituents had no idea what he was doing.
I thought we were going to go for a field goal and then, get overtime so we can, play him in overtime. But, when Joe snapped it over his head, that was pretty shocking. The whole sideline was like...
In the end, it was a landslide victory. What kind of a leader would you compare him to?
George Washington.
I have to say he's the president of our team, like Obama.
But unlike the president, Bianco's bunch of liberals don't get 4 years, let alone 4 days. They'll try to unseat Rush-Henrietta Friday night for the chance to represent Section 5 in the state playoffs. In Irondequoit, Chuck Wade, 13 WAM Sports.
Another Friday night of football in the cold and the rain in the city. Mike and Chuck, though, are braving it at Marina Auto Stadium, and you both have your parkas on. That's nice. Yeah, we do, and we're under the gazebo, which is nice tonight. We've got state qualifier games going on right now. The first one, Cal-Mum leading Dundee 7-0. That's in the first quarter. A big one tonight, Chuck.
Yeah, Rush-Henrietta, Irondequoit in the Class AA state qualifier. And then tomorrow, full day of sectional finals, including Class A, 2 unbeatens, Victor and Aquinas. We're going to talk about both teams. Let's start with Aquinas and 13 WAM's Toby Motika.
Mike Messina knows exactly how good the Aquinas football team is.
We haven't gone well in the regular season since my year I was in 8th grade, which I wasn't even at this school at that point.
But he also understands some people aren't too crazy about him.
We pull a lot of kids from all different areas since we're a private school, so a lot of people get mad about that, and they just want to beat us because they might have some friends on the team, or they just want to beat us because we've won so much.
I think it's a perception people have, and I understand that. But our job is just to do as good as we can and be as good as we can and take everything that people say about us and keep working harder.
That hard work has paid off with wins outside of the section and even the state. New York's #2 team says they're better because of it.
For the past few years, we've been really good, and we've been playing out of our mind. We've been through the sectionals. It's not really up to us. We play whoever we play, and that's the bottom line of it.
Now they're just a win away from their 5th straight sectional title. This weekend they'll play Victor, the same team they've knocked out of the playoffs the last 4 seasons. With Aquinas, Toby Motika, 13 WAM Sports.
All right, and that is 4 games is one thing, Chuck, but it's actually even a little bit worse than that.
Aquinas has really had Victor's number. The last 10 years, they have ended Victor's season 6 times, including 3 in the sectional finals. This year, the unbeaten Blue Devils could care less. Even though they're underdogs, they think they've got a chance. They don't care about the Section 5 record they set last week with 7 interceptions. They don't care about the fact that their closest margin of victory has been 23 points. And they don't care that in the last decade, their season has ended at the hands of Aquinas 6 times.
Unfortunately for us, it hasn't been much of a rivalry. We've only beat them once in the course of the time that we've been playing them here the last decade or so. But, we're excited to be in the position we're in.
In position to snap that skid against the mighty Irish and their 4 straight sectional titles.
Payback would be great. Never want your season then. You hear about it in the halls, people talking about it, but we don't really think about that going into the game.
A game that, with 2 unbeaten teams, should go down to the wire on Saturday night.
We're going to show up and give them a heck of a ball game. Hopefully, we have a shot late in the game to make something happen.
Right now, it's like, wow, this is almost over. This is my last shot, so hopefully we can get it done this week.
All right, and that game is set for tomorrow. An update on the game going on right now. Cal-Mum leads Dundee 8-7. We'll be back with more high school football and a Bills pick coming up at 6. Doug and Ginny?
They got their matching coats on.
Isn't that cute?
I love it. Under the gazebo. There they go.
Now, 13 WAM Sports.
Yeah, sports is coming to you live from Marina Auto Stadium. Tonight we have the high school state football qualifiers. Right now, Cal-Mum and Dundee. Dundee leading that one 15-8. Later tonight, we have Rush-Henrietta and Irondequoit. Chuck Wade joining us. Tell us what we'll see tonight, Chuck.
You're going to see 2 teams that can really score, 2 teams that can really throw it, 2 teams that haven't lost a single game this season. We're talking Irondequoit and Rush-Henrietta. RH has been so tough this year. Only one close game. That was their first of the season against Webster Schroeder. Since then, they've rolled all over everybody all the way to tonight's qualifier. But it's the kids from Irondequoit, the unbeaten underdogs, who say, it doesn't matter who we're playing, it's about us.
We're prepared for them. You know, a lot of teams, they see Irondequoit, no big deal, but we come hard, we come prepared each and every week to play.
We always look at it as one game at a time, so RH is RH to us, so we view them as being beatable.
Well, we'll see what happens in that one tonight. Should be a good one. Looking forward to the highlights of that.
Yeah, there's highlights of this soccer sectionals as well. We're going to have those at 11.
All right, and an update on the game going on right now. Again, Dundee leading Cal-Mum 15-8. They are in the third.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
All right, they've already won Section 5 football championships. Now tonight, a battle to see who would go on in the state playoffs. Tonight, unbeaten Rush-Henrietta against unbeaten Irondequoit in this one. RH is led by the area's top player, quarterback Ashton Broiled, and he went looking deep here. But his pass is going to be picked off by Irondequoit. They were staying in it early. From that point on, Broiled decided to just dominate on the ground. Watch the run here, taking it in for the touchdown to put RH ahead. Then watch him take off again. The great cutback move. This is why he's going to play at a Division I school next year. Look at the cutback and the run. That would set up another touchdown for the Royal Comets. They led it big at half and kept rolling along. Rush-Henrietta wins it tonight to advance the final 46-7. It was part of a miserable weather night tonight, including the game between Dundee and Cal-Mum. Dundee with a big first half. Maxwell Gorton takes it in for the score. Dundee on top early, but the second half belonged to Caledonia-Mumford. John Capitelli gets it into the end zone. Then later, they turn it over to Tyler Lawfer. One touchdown here. He wasn't finished. Look at him celebrating with his teammates. Gets it back again. Takes it in for the score. Caledonia-Mumford advances with the win. 36-15. We have
sectional final Saturday downtown. The first of 3 games kicked off at noon with the class of Class C, Letchworth, and their Iron Curtain of a defense going for a second straight sectional trophy. Tim McMullen always had his guys ready to take on the upstart Holly Hawks from the Genesee region today. Second quarter, Ryan Owens going to the air, and this ball is just perfect. To Matt Mail, that led to a field goal at halftime. Letchworth up 26-7, not done hearing from Mail either. Third quarter, after recording a safety, Alan Bookmiller catches the kickoff. He goes to work, breaks off the big run, and he's going to fumble, but right place, right time. Mail right there for the touchdown. Indian attack continued. Later third, we've got to show the defense. Owens with the interception right there. The QB on both sides of the ball and the short return. That led to an Owens throw back to Mail for the touchdown. Letchworth captures its second straight sectional title. They beat Holly 48-14 for the win. How about Hornell looking to repeat as Section 5 champs as well? These guys can really play football. Starting things off, though, with some defense. Sam Stone Rock, what a name, and Josh Mitchell in for the sack on third down. Later in the third, Zach Bacon finds it, goes 11 yards for the touchdown. Red Raiders up 12-0. Second quarter now, Dominic Scavo, Hornell's all-everything quarterback. Perfect. To Jordan Schwartz, all Hornell in this one. It's not a typo. 67-0 over Mid-Lakes. They win the sectional crown.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
Coming into tonight's Class A final, Aquinas had ended victor's season 6 of the last 10 years. This year, both teams entered this game undefeated, however. But the Little Irish are also the 4-time defending Section 5 champs. In the second quarter, Tim Young plows 4 yards to put Aquinas on the board first. They're up 7-0. Later in the second, Eric Terhard drills a 30-yard field goal to give Aquinas a 10-0 lead. But AQ with the ball in the third quarter. Corey Benedetto is picked off by Matt Koval, who takes it back to the house, 16 yards for the pick six. 10-7 in shades of last week's 7 interceptions. Skip ahead to the fourth. Aquinas going for it on 4th and 18. Billy Lombardi's going to get 20 yards to ice the game, and Aquinas wins its 5th straight Section 5 championship.
How about high school football in Buffalo tonight? Cal-Mum against Silver Creek in the state playoffs. Watch this. Cal-Mum up late by 7. They need to keep the ball to run the clock out. Madison Searle throws the pass. It's tipped and caught for Cal-Mum. That would put it away. Silver Creek finally loses the win tonight for Cal-Mum, 20-13 this evening. Also tonight, Aquinas in action, trying to break the long winning streak against Sweet Home. Sweet Home had won 36 in a row. Aquinas up 7-6. Corey Benedetto avoids the pressure, and Tyler Byrne makes the catch. Aquinas up big. They would miss the extra point. Then later, they add to the lead. Nick Labruto takes it the distance for the touchdown. What a win for Aquinas. They advance in the state playoffs. They beat Sweet Home and beat them big tonight, 36-6.
Back to football. Cal-Mum and Aquinas did their parts last night in the Far West Regionals. Today, the remaining 3 Section 5 schools can advance to the state semifinals with wins over their Buffalo area counterparts. We'll start Rush-Henrietta and Clarence, both the class of Class AA. Perfect at 10-0, and well, that's just about what Ashton Broyle's been all year. Perfect 95 yards for the touchdown. Royal Comets out in front early on. Where was the defense there? And Broyle wasn't done working. Second quarter, now he didn't go the length of the field on this one, just over half of it. 57 yards. Rush-Henrietta coming back to Rochester. They're going to play here next week for the state semifinals. They hang on to beat Clarence 42-34. The final, they are 11-0, and that's just what Letchworth was looking to do today. Go 11-0 with a win over Fredonia. We'll start in the third quarter. This is something we haven't seen a lot. Letchworth trailing. In fact, we haven't seen it at all. Shane Smith fumbles. Dylan Cassidy picks it up in the end zone. That made it 6-0. Fredonia, nicknamed the Hillbillies, not making it up. Third quarter, Chris Nevinger dives in for the Indians, and that tied the game back up. Now we're in familiar territory here. Letchworth tied. Still in the third, Shane Smith going to the air. Look at this one. 40 yards, tough to do it better, to Tyler Buckley. That made the score 12-6. Later in the fourth, Letchworth trying to make the comeback here, trying to stay perfect, advance to the semifinals next week. Ryan Owens going to the air, intercepted by Shane Smith, and we haven't said this yet this year. Letchworth falls 18-13. They finished the season 10-1. Congratulations on a great season.
How about Hornell? They're riding a 23-game winning streak into the game against Alden. No score. Zach Bacon, sizzling, gets the sack on the quarterback, and that Hornell defense stepping up. Still no score. Give it to the offense. Scott McKibben, important play, moving the change, and that's good for Sam Stonerock. The guy doesn't need many yards to get a score. Plows it in, 7-0 Hornell. Red Raiders moving on, 21-14.
Now 13 Wham Sports.
All right, the state football playoffs are back in town. Doubleheader already underway. Cal-Mum playing and Aquinas playing later tonight. Tomorrow night, Rush-Henrietta gets their shot to move on to the state finals next week at the Carrierdome. Quarterback Ashton Broyle and undefeated RH take on Baldwinsville. It's been a great year so far for RH.
You know, this is my first time in a game this big, you know, but it doesn't feel any different, you know. It feels good to still be out here playing the game you love with the people you love, and, you know, that's what it's all about.
All right, we'll see how they do tomorrow. Cal-Mum with the lead on Walton. We'll have highlights of that and the Aquinas game tonight at 11 o'clock.
Now 13 Wham Sports.
All right, 2 Section 5 football teams got the job done tonight. Wins at home move both Aquinas and Caledonia-Mumford into next weekend's title games at the Carrierdome. We're going to start with Cal-Mum taking on Walton of Section 3. First quarter, Tyler Laufer of Cal-Mum around end. 36 yards later, he's got a touchdown. It was an 8-0 lead for Cal-Mum, but the game was tied at 8 in the second. Madison Surr is going to sneak it in from a yard out, getting into the end zone, making it 16-8 Cal-Mum at the half. Third quarter, Cal-Mum's only pass of the night. It's a good one. Surr to Lofner for the big gainer. That would set up another score. Caledonia-Mumford's moving on to the state title game. They beat Walton tonight 24-10. How about Aquinas? Unbeaten this year, taking on Whitesboro of Section 3. First quarter, Aquinas' Mike Messina going to run free. 25 yards later, he has a touchdown. Little Irish on top, 7-0. Problem on special teams here. Aquinas' punt is going to be blocked right there by Adam Eberly, who gets the touchdown. Point after, no good. Aquinas still led 7-6. Next drive, the turnover comes back Aquinas' way. It's Nick Labruto who picks it off deep into Whitesboro territory. They would capitalize quickly. They give it to the guy who got the pick. Labruto takes it in for the touchdown. Aquinas is going back to the title game. They win tonight 35-12.
Now 15 Wham Sports.
Yeah, Cal-Mum and Aquinas did their parts last night. Tonight, two of Section 5's best, Hornell and Rush-Henrietta, both with perfect 11-0 records, can save their spots in next weekend's state championships. All they had to do was win it today at Marina Auto Stadium. So let's start with Hornell and their quarterback, Dominic Scavo, leading the way. Early first quarter, hands it to Sam Stonerock, punches it in from short yardage. That made it 7-0 Hornell. Now they'd intercept Chenango Valley. They go right back to work. Scavo to Dylan Dunn, who stretches it in. That made it 14-0 Hornell. Second quarter now, same score. Stonerock right through the middle of the line, down the middle of the field, 47 yards. His second score of the day. It was 21-0 Red Raiders. It was going to get worse in a hurry for Chenango Valley, that is. Just before halftime, Stonerock again puts it in from just outside the goal line. Hornell up big. They go on to win big and will play in the state finals next weekend.
Now 15 Wham Sports.
State playoff football continues downtown tonight. Rush-Henrietta just underway, trying to go 12-0, clinching a spot in next weekend's state championship game. We've got early highlights of this one. The Lion was all ready to go, and who else? Ashton Broyle takes a snap, cuts through the line, and goes the distance for the long touchdown here. Tied the game at 7. He'd score later on to put RH up 13-7. Second quarter, Baldwinsville punches this one in. Tyler Rouse, his second touchdown of the game. Baldwinsville went up 14-13, but Broyle wasn't done. Look at him airing it out here to Devin Mayo. He got inside the 5-yard line. That led to an RH touchdown. They've added another since then, 27-14, second quarter. That is where RH stands in the AA semis. How about earlier today, Hornell?
November 2007, the Little Irish of Aquinas go to the Carrier Dome and bring home a state football title. 3 years later, a freshman who mostly cheered from the sidelines for that group gets a chance to win one of his own.
Yeah, that game was a motivation to me. I mean, I saw my friends that were older win a championship, and I said I want to be one of those people that's on the field participating and actually benefiting for the team.
Messina has been an Aquinas guy from the start. His teammate Jamal Pardner has not. Pardner transferred from Wilson Magnet School this year. He says before he got to AQ, well, let's just say he wasn't a fan.
I strongly disliked Aquinas. I didn't like anything about Aquinas. I said, oh, those guys are cocky, those guys are arrogant, but when you're just looking from the inside out, I mean from the outside in, and when you hear it's a whole different feeling. Like, there are just things that about it that's a little iffy, like we have stuff that other people don't, but we actually work for it, and I think we deserve it.
Now on Friday afternoon, Pardner, Messina, and the rest of the Little Irish will try to prove they deserve another Aquinas state title. Now, Aquinas plays at 3 o'clock Friday. We'll continue previews of each team. And then on 13wham.com, beginning tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Don, we're going to have previews of all 4 teams right here on 13wham.com. You can go there and check them all out.
All right. Now, 15 Wham Sports.
This is it. The high school football season ends for Aquinas and Cal-Mum today, win or lose. But with a win, both the Little Irish and the Red Raiders could end the year with their 5th state title. Starting Class A, Aquinas taking on Harrison. First quarter, Tim Young taking the handoff, streaking to the goal line, and then watch this. Did get in? He stretches in, rumbles in. Aquinas up 7-0. Second quarter, 4th and super long. Corey Benedetto to the corner. Chris Bostic, perfectly done. 14-0 Aquinas at half, but just 17-13. Closing minutes of the 4th, Mike Messina. Good night and good luck. The touchdown run makes it 24-13. Aquinas wins their 5th straight title by that final.
It was the greatest feeling, to get a championship in my last game of football, especially on this field, which is soon going to be home to me in a year as I'll be playing lacrosse here.
Everybody works hard here and work together, and it's just to go 13-0 and win the state championship. That's unbelievable.
All right, well, how about those Class D finals? Cal Mum and Tuckahoe, first quarter. Kevin Garabitos. Would Cal Mum be number one? Not if Garabitos has anything to say. From 1 yard out, 6-0 Tigers. Second quarter now, Cal Mum, they were struggling on the halfback option pass. We're going to throw it, and trying at the end of the half, going for it on that halfback option pass. It's knocked down. And then 14-0 in the fourth. Tuckahoe puts it away. Jason Fuhrer, 4-yard touchdown catch. Tigers win the title 27-0.
You know, that's like the World Series or Super Bowl. Just because you lose it doesn't make you any less of an athlete or less of a person. I've got to make sure my kids realize what they've accomplished here with this season.
And congratulations to both teams on a wonderful season.
Now, 15 Wham Sports.
Well, Aquinas wasn't the only team going for a fifth New York State title today, but would they be the only ones to pull it off? Class D finals, Cal Mum and Tuckahoe. First quarter, Kevin Garabitos hoping he would make Cal Mum not number one. From 1 yard out, 6-0 Tigers. Cal Mum, though. End of the half, going to go for it on 4th and 7. Halfback option pass, going to pick the option of throwing it, but nice play by the defense to break it up. 6-0 at half, but it's 14-0 in the fourth. Tigers putting it away. Jason Fuhrer, 4-yard touchdown catch. Tigers win the title 27-0, but that doesn't take anything away from the Red Raiders.
You know, that's like the World Series or Super Bowl. Just because you lose it doesn't make you any less of an athlete or less of a person. I've got to make sure my kids realize what they've accomplished here with this season.
Accomplished quite a bit. In case you missed it, here's how Aquinas got it done. Pick it up in the second quarter, 4th and about 362. Still Corey Benedetto to the corner. Chris Bostic in the corner with the catch. 14-0 Aquinas at half. They're going to get the ball back later, only up by a few, but let's run it out. Mike Messina, have a good night, everybody, or a good afternoon. Touchdown made it 24-13. That was your final. Congrats to Aquinas on the title. Both teams, a great season.
Another big football day at the Carrier Dome tomorrow. Both Hornell and Rush-Henrietta will play for state championships, and both teams are looking to cap off perfect, unbeaten seasons. Now, for Hornell, it would also mean a repeat as champions of Class B in New York State. Meanwhile, the boys at Rush-Henrietta are looking to make a little title history. They're the odd man out of all the teams playing for state championships this weekend. Rush-Henrietta is the only school that has never won a state title in football. In fact, it's the farthest any team from RH has ever made it.
No, it is new to us, but it's exciting. And the thing that I think is best about this team is the kids stay grounded and they believe in each other and believe in the plan that we put in every week. And I think that's what's kept us in the direction that we're going.
It started last year following their loss to Webster Schroeder in the sectional semifinals. They knew they had a chance to be special this year.
When I first told my dad, what we had coming back and the feeling, I told him this was a special team, and I told him I've never been on a team as special as this. Did I know that we had a chance at a state championship? No, but was it in my mind? Of course.
I think we've all taken it in. I mean, it's something you don't experience all the time, so we're all very excited, and it's not a lot of opportunities you get to play for a state championship in any sport, so we're definitely excited.
Last weekend, the Royal Comets set a New York State record with 606 yards of offense in their 55-28 win over Baldwinsville. They don't see it being that easy on Sunday against Troy.
They expect blood, sweat, and tears. Somebody has to lose and somebody has to win. All I ask from my teammates is to play hard as you can and, have fun.
And maybe they'll have something to come home and see next Thanksgiving.
We represent for Section 5 and all the Rochester, so this whole area basically, and that'd be great to come home and see a title hanging up in our rafters and stuff, so it'd be great.
That's a 6 o'clock game for Rush. Hornell plays at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Championship Sunday at the Carrier Dome. Rush-Henrietta trying to make history with the first football state title in school history ever against Troy this afternoon. They were ready for it today right from the start. Literally, opening kickoff goes to Devin Wofford, and look at him go. Why not start the game with an 89-yard touchdown run up the sideline? Nobody caught him. RH went up 6-0. It was 14-7 at halftime. They were still in front. Third quarter, though, dominated by Troy, the Flying Horses. Jordan Kenzari breaks a big one, 68 yards, goes all the way back across the field, and that made it 28-20. Troy took the lead on Rush-Henrietta, but RH storms back down the field. Wofford again takes the handoff, and, well, you know what's coming if you see the score there. They held it until the fourth. Broiled gives it to Wofford again. He had 3 touchdowns today, and Rush-Henrietta wins the state title 40-28. That's the first in school history. And now Hornell will go for one in Class C tonight. They become the 3rd Section 5 team this year to win a state championship.
All right, thanks, Chuck.
Sure. Let's switch gears now to a team that has done nothing but win this year. Rush-Henrietta averaged 51 points a game this season, losing not a single game along the way. Today, in the state finals, a mere 48 minutes away from guaranteeing a season of perfection. And you know Ashton Broyle brought his game to the Dome. And so did his teammates. Opening kickoff, Devin Wofford takes it to the house. 89 yards for the touchdown. Rush-Henrietta had a 6-0 lead, and they were just getting started. We'll go to the second quarter now. Broyle making things happen. He can run, he can throw. Here he's throwing to Justin Medley. Touchdown, 66 yards. RH was up 14-7 at halftime, but Troy stormed back. They actually took a lead, 26-20. RH within 2 here. Fourth quarter, Broyle gives it to Wofford. Touchdown, Royal Comets. Wofford's 3rd of the game, and that would stand up. Rush-Henrietta gets the hardware and the state title, 40-28.
It wouldn't have been right if it wasn't a close game. I mean, it showed a lot of character on both sides. The kids battling hard. I'm very happy for our kids. They've done it right. I'm happy for the coaching staff that I have. Been together a long time, and it's been a lot of hard work. And I'm real happy for our community and our school.
You know, it feels good. The feeling isn't the feeling I thought I would feel. But, you know, I've got something accomplished done at the high school level. You know, hopefully I move on to bigger and better things. My goal is to win national championships.
Yeah, he'll get that when he makes a college decision. Hey, still to come in sports overtime. Rush-Henrietta, they weren't the only team going for a title today. Hornell tried to make it back-to-back state crowns. Those highlights coming up next.
Please rise at this time and please remove your hats.
What's Going Around, sponsored by MVP Healthcare.
Let's talk about the final game of the New York State football season, featuring Hornell and the Red Raiders and their 25 straight wins, the longest active streak in all of New York. They were going for their 2nd straight state championship today. Ton of fans made that trip, and we don't have to show you a ton from this one because it was all the same. Second quarter, Hornell up 14-0. Sam Stonerock blocks a punt. Dylan Dunn tracks it down, takes it home. Red Raiders were up 22-0. They go on to win big today. Dominic Scavo, the quarterback here with a touchdown, 50-20. 3 of the 4 Section 5 teams that went to play for state titles this weekend won them, including Hornell.
And congrats to them. Well, we are out of time. That's our report. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful night.
For breaking news and weather anytime, 13 Wham News is always on at 13wham.com and on your mobile device. 13 Wham News is your breaking news and weather authority.